X-Men news. I think this is maybe the most hyped up, most anticipated thing that Marvel has going on right now, especially because X-Men 97 is crushing it right now, and the social media conversations around that have been great. What a gift that show has been. Fantastic stuff. Of course, we also have Deadpool and Wolverine. We got Wolverine showing up. But the question is, what's going on with the X-Men movie? And we've been hearing for the past 9 months that Marvel Studios is accepting pitches. They're trying to figure out who's going to helm the new X-Men movie. Now, just a few weeks ago, there was a big report out there. It kind of came out from Alex Perez, the Cosmic Circus, some of the stuff they were talking about. Lines up with some stuff I've heard as well. And this was about Avengers versus X-Men. You guys remember we talked about this? So right now they're developing an X-Men movie. And it's possible that that X-Men movie is actually going to take place in the universe that is shown at the end of the Marvels, right? So you've got Monica Rambeau going into another reality. She sees her mother as binary or as Captain Marvel. She sees Kelsey Grammer as Beast, and there's mention of Charles Xavier. So that is an X-Men universe. The rumors are that universe was where this new X-Men movie was going to take place, and it could end up being that universe versus the 616 in an Avengers versus X-Men movie, okay? Now, earlier this week, or maybe it was late last week, My Time to Shine was talking about this and basically said that the X-Men movie is being developed right now, is going to be on a different universe, and if it takes place before Secret Wars, it'll probably be AVX. If it takes place afterwards, it'll be its own thing. I think Marvel's still kind of trying to figure out exactly what they want to do with this X-Men movie, but they have to wrap up what happened in the Marvel's post-credit scene either way. I frankly think it's still probably going to be Avengers versus X-Men and setting up more of those Fox X-Men characters for Secret Wars. That's what I think it is, but we don't know 100%, okay? Now, we have got some more recent updates. Just the other day, it was mentioned that Ryan Coogler is signed on for Black Panther 3, and they also potentially want him to do the X-Men movie. We also heard, and this also came out from My Time to Shine, that Janelle Monáe is having conversations to join the MCU, potentially in the role of Storm. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. How could Black Panther 3 tie to X-Men? Hello? It would have to be T'Challa and Storm. Now, there's a lot of rumors. There's actually a report out there from, I think it was WDW Pro, that was talking about how Marvel wants Storm to become the ruler of Wakanda. I haven't really heard that, I'll be honest, but it wouldn't surprise me. And this is potentially a way to get there, right? Now, of course, I want the actual T'Challa to come back. And I think that if you really wanted to go this way, you would have to do that, right? However, if this is taking place on a different universe, perhaps T'Challa is still alive on that universe. Perhaps T'Challa and Storm are married in that universe. So just little rumors, little bits of information. But if we're thinking of the framework that we kind of have established with a lot of the other rumors, it kind of makes sense to me that this is how they're building it up and this is how they're playing. Now, My Time to Shine said a long time ago, and this was in the wake of Wakanda Forever, she reported that the actual T'Challa will come back in the MCU reboot, okay? Now, the TLDR on that, even though a lot of you that are watching this already know, the TLDR on that is after Secret Wars, there's going to be a soft reboot for the MCU. And you're going to take some of these other universes, like you think about Fantastic Four, it's taking place on a different universe. X-Men movie taking place on a different universe. But after Secret Wars, it's like all of those things are going to be smashed together. So this allows Marvel to establish things, some of which can be brought in and mixed up with the 616 continuity to create a new continuity. There was a moment at the end of God of Stories Loki's run where God of Stories Loki is petrifying these moments in time and saving them so that when the new timeline comes out, he can drop all of those moments onto the timeline, and then those moments become like the history, so that the new timeline would essentially be very similar to the old timeline. I think something like that could be happening, but you're going to take maybe some moments from Fantastic Four movie, make it canon to the soft rebooted MCU. You're going to take some moments from this potentially Black Panther 3, potentially the X-Men, and petrify that and save it for the new universe continuity. Now that's definitely weird, right? And it's pretty wild, but I think it could work. And if you really think about a lot of the stuff they're cooking up, man, this could make perfect sense. Bringing in the X-Men in that way, creating that T'Challa connection in that universe, only to then bring it into ours and apply it. I think it could be pretty crazy, and I think it could actually work. Other thing that was reported were the writers that are within the sort of final selections for this process. And this was reported from Jeff Snyder last night, and also I think this morning in his newsletter. Okay. Judkins and Leslie. Judkins, he did a bunch of Law and Order. He worked as a co-producer on Chuck, Hemlock Grove. He did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, The Wheel of Time. He was a showrunner on that. Judkins co-wrote Tom Holland's Uncharted movie, an adaptation of The Division with Gyllenhaal, co-wrote for Lionsgate, Hunger Games, Now You See Me 3. So the point there, and this was something that Snyder focused on in his newsletter, is these are not huge names. These are people that have done a bunch of work and have worked at different levels of the business. And what I think that means is Feige needs people that can work within the Marvel system. He basically needs more Michael Waldrons. And what I mean is people that will do 17 drafts. Like, he needs people that are going to be able to rewrite and work fast. I think in the past couple of years, with the writers and the directors, Marvel has found themselves chasing hot new talent or people that have broken in and made a name for themselves. And I think that was a mistake because, pick your person, name your example. If you're not in the trenches, if you haven't really put that body of work together, you might not work well within the Marvel system, especially now because quality is of the utmost importance. I don't think he wants to get into another battle like he did with Chloe Zhao. I don't think he wants to get into another battle like he did with Nia DaCosta. I think Feige wants people that, like, from the director perspective, he's getting a lot of people that have worked well within the MCU system already. Coogler, whether or not you love Wakanda Forever, you got to understand, Coogler went through it to make that movie. He went through it, bro. Maybe the most rewrites that a writer-director has done in a Marvel film. All sorts of things that he had to change, all sorts of controversies, all sorts of things being thrown at him, and he handled it. I think that's why maybe Sean Levy's going to get some more Marvel work too, right? He just works well within the system. So these writers, while not super inspiring choices, I'm actually chill with it because, like, my perspective on it is, okay, we're no longer trying to chase the name, the talent, the poppiness. We're trying to get people that work and can do a lot of work if needed. So, when it comes to the X-Men stuff, there's a lot of mystery out there, but there's a lot of smoke, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is a lot of smoke, and I think there's some fire. So I think potentially this is another thing that we'll get more updates on soon. It's possibly something that we're going to get big updates on for San Diego Comic-Con. It's supposed to shoot next year, I think. So they really want this thing to get going. So that's the updates. I think we'll get even more updates. And a lot of this is it feels like a lot of this is fitting together. So that's the updates on the X-Men. I hope it's Avengers versus X-Men. And I'd love to see what Coogler would do with an Avengers versus X-Men film.